see everything working out. If I can just get this to work properly, pardon me, because I think nothing like having computer issues at this point. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Windows having some issues at this point. All right, I am Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. It is Monday. It is February 5th. It is National Weather Person's Day. You may not have heard of it before, but it always follows that sham holiday we call Groundhog's Day. So thanks to everybody for some really nice gifts. Thanks to, was it Richard and Regina? Didn't get the last name, but thank you very much for the card and the cookies, which have already been devoured by the newsroom and the production staff on here from Chattanooga's favorite bakery. I believe that was Federal Cakes in that area. And thanks to my co-anchors, Kay Blevins and Andrew Harrison, for the root beer. Very nice to have around in case you tend to get thirsty doing a lot of talking as I do. It's been a beautiful day here. It has not been any problem at all across the area where the weather is concerned. For tonight, it's going to be a little chilly in the morning, no question about that, but for right now, I think things are going to be pretty quiet overall. Next several days actually looks to be fairly quiet as well. We'll talk about the forecast in just a little bit. Didn't manage to crack 70 today, but we came within 8 degrees of a record high that hasn't been broken since 1890, and a record low of 2 degrees above zero, which was last set in 1996. Low temperature this morning, 45, just above normal for this time of the year. Still a dry start to the month and the year, or for everything. We did manage to pick up about half a foot of rainfall so far across the area. So we did manage to get some rainfall out there in the last few days and weeks, just not quite that much for the month. Heading outdoors tomorrow looks pretty good, just about as warm as today. Winds out of the northeast will keep things rather on the cool side, but we will also see plenty of sunshine out there, so should be okay for getting out and about. And also, again, for anything you're doing in the way of golf, temperatures will be brisk in the morning and then not bad during the rest of the days. We see temperatures going back into and around the lower 60s for highs, upper 50s, lower 60s out there, so shouldn't be too bad for tomorrow, and actually looking pretty good overall. So outdoors not showing a problem here. Travel also should not be too much of an issue. We're going to try to put together a commute graphic so people can see what's going on into the area for what's going to go on tomorrow. Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day, courtesy of Robert Copeland. Last week, Wednesday's sunrise from the Soddy Daisy area. Thank you very much for a spectacular view there. And if you've got pictures, all you have to do is drop them to our email, pictures@wdef.com, or just send them to us, drop them to the social media pages, and we'd love to be able to see what you're seeing out there. Temperatures at the top of the hour, pretty close right after 10 o'clock, 30s, 40s, and a few 50s showing up. Very much on the nice side. Chilly, though, and going to be chilly into around tomorrow morning as well. From the Chattanooga Zoo, looking back toward Erlinger Hospital into around 4th Street area, very much on the quiet side for now. Chattanooga Zoo camera, usually the Asian Lantern Festival camera, but not that for tonight as the festival has come to an end. Downtown on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera, very clear skies all the way out to Lookout Mountain off to the southwest, and then seeing good travel conditions around 153 and 64. We had some pretty good amounts of rush hour traffic earlier on tonight, backing things up on southbound 153, heading toward the 2475 junction. 24 through downtown Chattanooga, not doing too bad again for tonight. Looking at veteran-owned Patriot Concrete camera, little on the wibbly-wobbly side, a bit of a breeze from time to time, but otherwise not bad. 2475 traffic, Tomahawk Crane and Rigging camera, very light traffic. Some pretty good traffic back to the left-hand side of the screen, west of this area, thanks to a multi-vehicle crash and lights of Signal Mountain all the way off in the distance. So seeing again some pretty nice conditions out there. And last but not least, saw Saturn sinking into the skies all the way back around the Tennessee River Valley early tonight. Tennessee River like glass at this point. So looking at dry conditions on the Speedy's Total Car Care camera from the North Shore Chattanooga Theater Center. Temperatures remain pretty mild, back in the mid-50s, but we're down from where we were earlier, and probably going to be looking again for some fairly chilly numbers into the rest of the evening coming up for later on tonight. What's going on out there for right now? Again, what's left of our latest storm system currently sitting over the Straits of Florida and over parts of the Keys off into the Bahamas. That was our last storm system. The next one is going to be coming in from the west coast, but once again, it's got a lot of high pressure to get through. So we'll be watching this approaching over the next several days. And as it does, we'll be seeing the potential for, again, some more chances of showers, maybe some thunderstorms as we go into the weekend. If you're planning on heading to the west coast, very ugly weather going on out here as we see a lot of rain from what is called a Pineapple Express, or a atmospheric river slamming on shore. Parts of Southern California, LA, San Diego, Bakersfield, around Malibu, picking up 10 to 12 inches of rainfall. Landslides, mudslides, flash flooding, all kinds of stuff going on out this direction. So if you're planning on traveling west of Phoenix and Las Vegas, that rain making its way up to Las Vegas into parts of the Sierras. Could be some pretty good snow out there in some of the higher elevations. Matter of fact, it looks like areas back up around east of Fresno is now picking up some pretty good snow, east of Bakersfield and LA, all the way back up to areas east of Sacramento. It doesn't look like a lot in that area, but enough to possibly cause some slowdowns in travel, and some of that turning into snow across the basin from Las Vegas all the way back up to around Salt Lake City, so picking up a little bit more in the way of rain there. So that system will be crossing the country and heading our direction in the next couple of days. We'll be watching that with a lot of interest. But for the next about 72 hours, chilly for Tuesday morning, mid to upper 30s there, going into and around the area of, pardon me, computer's getting persnickety again here. Okay, there we go. For tomorrow, upper 50s to right about lower 60s. Should be a decent amount of sunshine coming on through. And then as we go into around Wednesday morning, another chilly one with upper 30s possible. Mid to upper 50s to lower 60s for Wednesday. Thursday morning, chilly, but more clouds starting to head on through as high pressure moves some moisture up off the Gulf of Mexico. Thursday afternoon, maybe a little cooler, not by much, mid to upper 50s there. I know the computer model is saying lower 50s here. I don't know if we're going to get that cool. I think we're going to get fairly cool as we go into Friday morning, but that is where the leading edge of more of that moisture starts to make its way through the area. So we will see better potential of some rain coming up into the weekend. We're also going to see the warmer air retreat back to the north, cooler air back to the west of us, and that is going to be making its way our direction as we get a little bit closer toward the next couple of days. So some changes, but not a lot into the next few days. Again, we'll keep our eyes on that for now. Right now, beautiful conditions, lots of clear skies out there. The Chinese space station will be making a pretty bright pass tomorrow morning. We'll see if we can get that graphic taken care of here in just a little bit. Island Cove Marina and Resort from Lake Chickamauga, and beautiful conditions, barely a ripple out there, so not seeing a lot of changes for right now. For the time we go into the weekend, until then, should be dry, but getting toward around Friday, chances of rain start to increase. And then as we go into the weekend, you can call it the big game. I'm saying another name for it. It is Superb Owl Sunday. Yes, that is a thing, and it's a really cool thing. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Temperatures will be mild. Again, we may drop a little bit toward Thursday and Friday, and maybe a little cooler toward this time next week, but at least we will see, again, some fairly mild conditions, hardly any sign of winter. Back in the lower to mid 30s, maybe at a couple of points in time, but really not seeing all that much. So not doing too bad again for the temperatures. Now, chances of rain as we go into the big game. I know a lot of folks, if the weather is nice, they'll put the big screen out on the patio and have the party out there. Maybe a bit of a problem here, again, with the chances of rainfall coming up. I don't think it's going to be that much, but I do think it is going to be chances of rain. Might be make it an indoor type of celebration and I'm only there for the advertisements and the food usually when I get invited to one of those big game parties. Although this time around with the Chiefs playing in there, I grew up an hour west of Kansas City, so everybody rooted for the Cardinals. Second favorite team at that point in time in that part of Northeast Kansas was either the Bears or the Cowboys, and a lot of people like the LA Rams at that point. So for the Chiefs this weekend taking on the Niners, I think we should be seeing some indoor big game parties coming up. And again, for Superb Owl Sunday, great opportunity to learn more about these fascinating creatures out in the wilderness and how they help our environment and how they keep our environment a little bit less crowded when it comes to rodents. They do a very good job of pest control in that particular area. So if you use poisons on things like mice traps, rat traps, things like that, you could be indirectly poisoning some of the creatures that help to keep our environment cleaner and healthier. So if you can, and again, if you have anything like that, consider who you may be harming by extension. Now, in the next few days and weeks, a lot of stuff is going to be going on for citizen science purpose. This is one of them. From the Audubon Society, there's a practice called citizen science. If you would like to participate in outdoor lab work, observing, translating, transcribing, there's tons of great things out there for you to do. You don't have to have a PhD to be involved in a lot of these projects, and this is one of them. The great 27th annual Great Backyard Bird Count at birdcount.org, sponsored in part by the Audubon Society. This is coming up in a couple of weeks, February 16th through the 19th. And what this is a good opportunity for you to be able to watch your backyard. You don't have to go anyplace. You can just watch your backyard and find out more about what your wildlife supply in the backyard is. The more people that participate, the more data we have. And the really cool thing is you get lessons from the Audubon Society about the bird count, about how to count and what does count and what doesn't. Learning more about what the birds in connection with your nature-filled backyard could be, and everybody going on into that area trying to help out on stuff like that. This is going to be a global event over a couple of days, so you'll be able to take a look at the map of the world where people will send in their reports, and all that information will be counted on a map live over the weekend. So it's a good opportunity to be able to see what you're seeing out there. And again, you can see some of those reports coming in, even though we technically haven't started just yet. Okay, real-time checklist submission. So you do see, again, some of what people are seeing out there. This is kind of in some ways like the MPing reports, to be able to see who's seeing what in the way of precipitation at the ground. In this case, it's all about birds. And if you'd like to know more about this, you can go to birdcount.org, or you can go to the National Audubon Society if you'd like to see more about what this is all about and how you can participate. Again, follow the hashtag Citizen Science on social media. It's really cool to see what's out there. There's a really great effort, I believe it's by the Library of Congress, to help transcribed some of abolitionist Frederick Douglass's works. That's available through, I think, the Smithsonian or the Library of Congress. I'll see if I can find that and put that on there someplace. But if you'd like to participate, all you need is just a few things like your brain, your eyes, your ears, a notepad, and or a laptop to be able to show what's going on. So please consider doing this if you have the opportunity to do that. And that is coming up again February 16th through 19th, the 27th annual Great Backyard Bird Count. I want to talk a little bit more about severe weather practices as we are getting into that season. Want to make certain, again, everybody is aware of this. This is still just to our west, so it technically does not include the News 12 viewing area. But for any of our viewers in DeKalb and Jackson counties, Alabama, if you or anybody you know are deaf or hard of hearing, the National Weather Service in Huntsville will be offering an ASL interpreter, and CART services will be provided for this deaf and hard of hearing severe workshop. That'll be Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Time in Huntsville at the AIDB Huntsville Regional Center. 6 p.m. You can find out more at weather.gov/HUN. That's the National Weather Service website in Huntsville. Whenever the National Weather Service does outreach, particularly to the deaf or the hard of hearing community, we want to make certain everybody's aware of this. Yes, this is a little farther west than where we are in Chattanooga and the News 12 viewing area, but this is a really cool thing to know about and to promote. So if you know anybody who's deaf or hard of hearing, or yourself are deaf or hard of hearing, sign up for this, find out more. Again, that'll be Tuesday night, 6 p.m. in Huntsville. Great opportunity to learn more, and it's always great for the National Weather Service to do something like that for the deaf and hard of hearing community. This Friday, February 9th, Chattanooga, Hamilton County residents, Skywarn training session being taught by the National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, which covers part of the News 12 viewing area. This Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Great opportunity to learn more about severe weather. Again, these meetings last about an hour, hour and a half, somewhere in there. So your opportunity to learn more about this really cool event, to be able to volunteer for Skywarn. If you go to these things, they teach you what to look for, how to be safe, what to call back into the National Weather Service. If you're an amateur radio operator, what to radio to call back in to transmit to the National Weather Service. Anybody in the law enforcement agencies, police, sheriff, emergency response, fire, EMT, anything like that, neighborhood watch. This is a great opportunity to learn more about how you can help your community, because the information you provide by learning about Skywarn can help people like me and the National Weather Service tell everybody in the path of a possible storm what may be coming their way. And this is why, again, if we can tell people this is what's heading your way, that's one more reason for people to heed the warnings and to get to safety. Maybe your bit of advice, your bit of information can help on that. Again, this is this coming Friday, the 9th of February, 6 p.m., CHI Memorial Hospital. To register for a seat, it's totally free, weather.gov/MRX. Again, just make certain let the National Weather Service know you're coming, and if they need an extra meeting hall or to have a second meeting because too many people show up, please register at weather.gov/MRX. Now, also in the News 12 viewing area, just to the east of Hamilton County is Bradley County, Tennessee, and your meeting will be coming up about a week after the one in Chattanooga, Thursday, February 15th, at 6 p.m. at the Bradley County 911 Center in Cleveland, Tennessee. We don't have that many meetings going on because these are the only ones so far that have been posted by the National Weather Service. This is the big time for Skywarn spotters, right as we go into that prime time for severe weather. So we are telling you about Hamilton County, Bradley County, the severe weather for the deaf and hard of hearing over in Huntsville, because that is roughly in our area. So we want to make certain everybody is aware of what's going on. If we had other counties available, we would tell you about it, but we don't have them because there's not one for each specific county. So if you want to attend one of these things and you're from, say, Polk or Meigs or McMinn, or you can't make the one in Hamilton, that's great. Just go ahead and register for a seat. Go ahead and tell the National Weather Service you'll be there, and that can help make certain that they can plan out the meetings and get enough space for everybody. There's also online versions from the National Weather Service in Morristown. It's a virtual Skywarn spotter group if you would like to attend that one, if at all possible. And let me see if I still have it in here. I think I might have deleted it. Okay, here we go. If you'd like to take the courses online, all you have to do is go to meted.ucar.edu. That is from the University Council for Atmospheric, University Center or University Council for Atmospheric Research, UCAR, and their meteorological education program. So if you'd like to take the Skywarn classes online and then register with your National Weather Service office to say you've taken the course, I want to sign up for Skywarn, go to meted.ucar.edu. And that way you can take the courses whenever you want to And then when a local meeting is available, these meetings only come up about twice a year. So if you can't make one of the meetings due to schedule conflicts, take the one online and then let the National Weather Service, you've taken that course so you can be on their Skywarn roster so they can call you wherever you happen to be and let everybody else know more about what you're seeing. Why is this so important? This thing is very important to think about, and I'm just going to use a couple of examples here. Let's say that we have a big storm coming over from northeast Alabama and now making its way across northwest Georgia and into southeastern Tennessee, right across, say, Hamilton County. Let's say that this system is, again, moving to the north and east at approximately, hang on just 1 second here. All right, let's say it's starting off where 127 and 27 split somewhere around the area of Middle Valley. This storm, again, going to the northeast. Let's say this is really booking along at about 50 miles per hour. So if this storm is here and it's expected to go here 50 miles an hour, this is the most important thing here, because if you're down here in Walden, Red Bank, Middle Valley, Soddy Daisy, if you're in the area here where the information from you gets called into the National Weather Service, you can be helping all of these people in that cone where the storm is expected to go towards. So Graysville, Dayton, Decatur, Charleston, anywhere in that area is going to be the best opportunity for seeing more about what may be coming your direction. Now, that also has an important part to play here, that if you are in, say, Collegedale, Cleveland, Benton, back down toward East Ridge, Rossville, Chattanooga proper, the storm is here and going this way. So that says that for here, for now, according to what the report is on this storm, it's moving away from Chattanooga. So this is no longer a threat to Chattanooga. But everybody else in the path of this storm could be in its path and could be receiving whatever it is you report, again, as the storm gets plotted here for its particular how ferocious it is. Severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning, tornado warning. What you see gets reported to the National Weather Service by you, and then they put that on the wires for people like me to tell everybody else what is going on in this area. And the National Weather Service puts that out on the wires for anybody out there watching, where it comes to, again, law enforcement, where it comes to EMTs, things like that. That is how important your information is. And if you would like to take the course, again, all you have to do is show up and find out more about what's available on there, or, again, take the course online so that you are able to know what to do when the time comes. Totally free. Again, sign up if you can online or take the courses in person. That'll really help out as we go into the prime of severe weather season, which is basically now until about early April. So we've got a ways to go before we get out of severe weather season and into those very warm doldrums out there. So please keep that in mind if you're going to be doing anything. I tell all the schools I go to, this would look really good on a resume. If I were the hiring manager and I saw Skywarn on somebody's resume, I would really think hard about hiring that person because of the fact that they took time out of their schedule to care about their community enough to take the course. So my little submission of 2 cents in there, take that as you will, but again, something to consider into the next several days. High temperatures tomorrow, again, I think maybe a degree or two cooler, but otherwise not really looking at too much in the way of problems. Our weather poll of the day, thanking Panaagua Auto Mall for being our sponsor. Looking for a new sponsor, to contact our sales department out there. Question of the day, the atmosphere of Mars is what thicknesses of Earth? 2 times this one of Earth, so that much thicker than Earth, exactly equal to Earth, 1/2 of Earth, or 1/100th that of Earth. And the correct answer, which received the second highest amount of votes, 19%, is the correct answer. So you would have to take 100 breaths on Mars, even if you could breathe the atmosphere, which, by the way, you can't. It's mostly carbon dioxide, so one deep breath might do a good job of killing you. It would take 100 breaths on Mars to equal 1 breath on Earth. That's how thin the Martian atmosphere actually is. So pretty cool to be able to see this. If you'd like to vote in our polls, go to wdef.com/vote now for more details, or use the handy dandy QR code on your screen to find out more details about what the next question is, and lots of other polls going on there. So please tune in for more information on that. Think that should do it. I think we covered pretty much everything, and we're coming up on half an hour, so time to close it down before we get ready for News 12 at 11. We'll be back on, let's see, Paul Esposito on Facebook. What do you think about making a Category 6 hurricane warning? That presumes that we can have that type of a situation. Usually, and a long time ago, and I wish I had the graphic available here, but I don't. A long time ago, back in the late 60s, early 70s, it was assumed before Doppler radar that you could have tornadoes going the speed of, not along the ground, but wind speeds inside the tornadoes going the speed of sound, like Mach 1, Mach 2, somewhere in there, if you follow the exponential idea as to how fast those winds go. Well, a thunderstorm can only produce up to, as far as we know, an EF5 right about in that area. Yes, you had outliers like Moore, Oklahoma, but in general, 99 times out of 100 over the last 50, 60 years of studying these things, we've only been able to go up to an EF5. Whether or not we get to that point to where we have winds stronger than Category 5, 155 miles per hour, and so far as I know, outside of just some minor gusts of outliers going 200 miles per hour maybe, we have not had anything of that nature. Could it happen if climate change causes problems and makes stronger storms? Absolutely. Has it happened yet? No, which is why the World Meteorological Organization, National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, and plenty of other places around the globe have not increased anything in regards to what could be a Category 6 possible hurricane. Is it possible we could see that? Yeah, as I said, absolutely. But so far as I know, nothing has crossed that threshold, because the limits of the atmosphere can only stir up a storm so much more terrible than a Category 5. Getting to that threshold and above and documenting that for science, it might have happened already. There are things called hypercanes, where technically if you have a meteor strike right in the middle of a hurricane that puts all that heat up into the atmosphere, it can make a hurricane much, much worse. But to my knowledge, in human history, we have not seen a hypercane, anything like that, ever happen. If global warming and climate change gets bad enough, and yes, it is human driven, that's the case, don't try to tell me otherwise, it could be we may be looking at stronger, more long-lived storms that could cause Category 6 damage and above. So yes, at some point there may be a need for a Category 6 storm. Whether or not that's happened yet, still to be documented. So that's a question for posterity, and we'll see how well things go on that one. That should do it for tonight. Good question, by the way. Thank you for chiming in on that one. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early Tuesday morning. Stay tuned for more on News 12 on air, and stay tuned for more online at wdef.com/weather, and I'll see you back here coming up on Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us for National Weather Person's Day, Monday, February 5th.